Everyone, I'm in Arlington, Washington, and this out here is where the Love Family cult that used to call themselves the Love Family Israel used to live. This was the cult that was basically grew up near me and my family in the Seattle, Washington, Bothell area growing up. So the story goes is that they used to be on Queen Anne Hill in Seattle, and then they populated in the Bothell, Washington area for a while. And they also had a bunch of property, well, right out here. They basically owned all of this campground and all of this land out here. And this was their settlement. So as the story goes, when the Love family started to dissolve, I'm guessing it's because Brian Allen, Steve Allen's son, had issues with the head of the cult. This is the story. This is the lore, as I like to call it. I don't believe half of the stories and lores behind these groups. I think that they're just cover. But the point is that when the Love family sold the property, they apparently sold it to the Union for Reform Judaism, and now it's called Camp Kalsman. So, folks, I'm not Jewish, and so I don't have a strong enough understanding about what is authentically Jewish versus not, and those types of things to get into those types of debates. I'm actually trying to get into. At some point, it's my goal to have some more meaningful discussions with people who have varying different perspectives on the Jewish religions, because it's something that I want to personally know more about and understand the intricacies of the issues. You know how, like within Christianity, for example, there's some strifes that exist between, for example, like Catharines and Lutherans and things like that, where there's been epic battles that go on just over interpretations of Christianity. And so my understanding is that a person who's not Jewish is that there's some types of things that go on like that, I guess, within, Judaism too. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I got a little bit concerned, folks, because, the way that it worked in the 80s is that we didn't have the internet yet. And even in the 90s, the internet was pretty new. And so a whole bunch of the people that were part of the Love family, well, they could do something that would make themselves appear to be like born Jewish when they weren't. Because what the church members would do is when you joined the Love family, say your name was John Doe, they would say, John, you're really brave. And we would like to name you Bravery. And if you're going to join our church, you have to give up all your property, all of your your money, your savings, your property, your cars, all of it, and give it to the Love family. And then they are allowed to live out in these compounds and share property and share houses and everything else like that with the Love family. But here's the thing. John Doe then changes his name to Bravery Israel. Okay. And in some cases, they took the extra steps, is my understanding, of actually having their names legally changed from what they were born with to having the last name Israel. So the reason why I'm even out here, folks, is because when I was researching things involving property records that were connected to the Love family cult, who changes their last name to Israel, it led me out to this property. And that's when I learned the whole backstory about how the Love family went bankrupt. They had all these arguments, and that this was where they had once settled. But I was told, even by a church member who commented on one of my YouTube channels, that they told them that they sold all this to, again, they sold it to the Union for Reform Judaism, and that's why now it's being, led by them. And here's the thing, though, folks. So, yeah, I found property records and phone numbers and call records connected to that organization here, but I also found church members of the Love family Israel. So in addition to finding a whole bunch of around this surrounding area, if you look in and start digging deep into the property records, and especially on the Home Metry engine, that's one of the websites that keeps track of these things, you're going to find that quite a few of the members of the Love family cult, the Church of Jesus Christ at Armageddon, who changed their last name to Israel, are still here. They're still surrounding the area, and they're still using the last name Israel, but it's not their actual name. And so, again, I say this with respect to the Jewish people, the Jewish community. It's not out of any disdain at all. It's like if somebody were pretending to be me or whatever, and weren't, you see what I'm saying? Like the issues are kind of complex when it comes to religious things, and interpretations of religion. So I'm not trying to be a person that's menacing in that direction at all. You have to understand, from a person that comes from the outside who finds all this information, it's a little bit like, well, what do I do and what do I say? I don't want to be insulting towards anybody, not even some of the people that were part of the group that were originally out here, because even they don't even understand what happened to them on some level, you know? But it got a little bit concerning to me, and I put this out in my material and even one of my interviews, because you may have people that might have pretended to have converted to Judaism in order to blend in, you know, because that last name's an effective way at saying that, you know, you have Jewish lineage. If you run around telling everybody like that your parents were just creative and named you Bravery, you know, knowing that you were born John Doe. Say John Doe doesn't have any Jewish lineage at all. Say his parents were both like, I don't know, his dad was a Protestant and his mom was like non-denominational, an atheist or something like that. And this is just some cool hippie cult that he joined. Okay, well, then they took it to the next level of changing his name to Bravery Israel. So when you see his name like on a Hollywood script, say he goes and make a movie and everything like that, now you're knowing where some of these weird names come in from, like going, hey guys, have you heard that latest movie directed by Bravery Israel? God, it's amazing. But I promise you guys, he's not a Jewish actor, he's not a Jewish writer, he's not from a Jewish family. 9 times out of 10, when it comes to Hollywood especially, you're going to find they originated with the Love family called the Church of Jesus Christ in Armageddon. And those have connections to things like the Children of God and the Source family. And then when you tie back that into, you have eugenics, the breeding programs, and why they were all brought out to these areas to begin with.